Actually, I remember I first time met him in Sakya itself, very long time ago. But of course, at that time, no one really introduced. I don't know him. He came one of my empowerments when I was giving the empowerments. He came along with the other scholars also, but we didn't know at all. And then later came to know that he was a very learned scholar, and then we get to know about him. And then after coming to India, of course, I met him many times in Sikkim, and then so we heard all about his qualities, especially his great wisdom and the knowledge about generally all the teachings, and particularly the Vajrayana teachings. So then in 60s, early 60s, then we at that time I was residing in Mussoorie, so we invited him to come to Mussoorie, and then I had the fortune to receive innumerable teachings from him directly. He, of course, emphasized the teachings. Teachings are meant to be practiced, and so therefore, whatever knowledge or the wisdom that you gain, you have to put in practice in everyday life. For instance, like the moral conduct should be according to the Vinaya, and then the explanations should be according to the Abhidhamma, and the meditation should be according to the sutras, and Tantra Mantrayana practices should be according to the Tantras. I think that his greatest contribution is that he, even when he was very young, he was very special, very brilliant, and but very great wisdom. And so at a very young age, he became an abbot in his own monastery and in other monasteries as well. And so his main is teaching. He taught innumerable, and in fact, all our present abbots and scholars and administrators are all his students. So due to his wisdom and the knowledge that he bestowed, that today that many of these great scholars been able to carry on the Dharma activities. He always emphasized that whatever practice we should do, we must do it according to the teachings, not for the sake of fame, or not for the sake of any other reason. For instance, like he is one of the few masters who emphasize that it is very important to practice Vajrayana teachings secretly. We should not do it in publicly, even like displaying the tangas or mandalas, or even the Vajrayana ritual objects. He always objects displaying in public. It can be only display in the place where only those who have initiated can see or touch. Not everyone. Whereas of course nowadays the Vajrayana objects are almost everywhere, but he always says it's very wrong to show all this to publicly. This is of course obvious that everything is impermanent, the life is impermanent. So even the great masters of course also, although in reality when you reach the noble stage, that you are beyond the fear of death and birth and old age and sickness and so on, but for the eyes of the common people still they show that passing away and so on. So of course this is a great lesson for us of impermanent. Everything is impermanent, our life is also impermanent, and so therefore we must make a very strong effort to put the Dharma practice in our everyday life. Yes, he is of course one thing that I remember. He's always very joyful. He's always he never gets sort of like annoyed or agitated. He's always very relaxed and joyful. He shares. He never sits like students and teachers. He always mixed with students as just like friends. So that was, I think, the very one of his great qualities. Khenchen Abe Rinpoche is a very, very special master, and we feel that he is specially came at this time when the Dharma was kind of very degenerated, and so he came. So due to his blessing and the kindness, that being able to continue the steady contemplation, meditation, and the practice.